We are 1/3 of the way to 1,000 subscribers. I saw it when it was at 333, and I waited until 334 because I didn't want that awkward 999 claim. No, we are officially at or beyond a third of the way to 1,000 subscribers, and I just wanted to thank y'all by talking about Sonic with you guys. Just give me a second, just a couple of seconds here to light. Okay, so I have been seeing online a lot that a lot of people have been asking for a Silver the Hedgehog spin-off game, right? Just like Sonic the Hedgehog had, I'm sorry, just like Shadow the Hedgehog had, right? Sonic that had a whole spin-off in his own. Anyway, so, I figured, unlike the people who are saying that it's a bad idea, I figured skip it. I'll see if there's a way that I can set this up to probably be a good idea or something, or even more so. Let's see if we can just set up a freaking Sonic cinematic universe for all of Sonic's characters and see if we can work some stuff out. Now, that does sound ridiculous, but trust me, I got something in mind. So, first things first, we got Silver the Hedgehog, right? So, Silver the Hedgehog, he would have to have, let's give him flight mechanics in his game like Supersonic has. But maybe have his flight burn through a psychokinesis meter, which he'll also use for telekinetic attacks. And we can give him a simple homing attack for when the meter is empty. And as far as the story progression goes, it can mirror Sonic CD, like even down to including the signpost for the player so they'll know if they just traveled into the past or the future or something like that. Eggman Nega was already stated to be Dr. Robotnik's descendant and the Eggman of the future. So, Silver the Hedgehog's direct nemesis um, deserves some spotlight in this game too. So, doing that, we could actually see Eggman would probably have something like, let's say, Eggman Nega's future tech would probably be interesting, and it would probably have like, oh well, I went back in time and looked up Eggman of the past stuff, and I just revamped this shit to make it stronger or more powerful. That seems like something that you could do to flesh out Eggman Nega, or you could even shoot if you wanted to insert Egghead or Omelette into his family tree. I know nobody would, but I'm just saying, like, more importantly though, Silver's player 2 could be Blaze the Cat since we don't see enough of her. And speaking of Blaze the Cat, she could have her own game too. Now, at first, I was thinking, Blaze doesn't have enough continuity to have a story. And then I realized, well, fuck that. That's the exact reason why you should give Blaze a game. Fix her shit. Give her a definitive story arc, for fuck's sake, my dude. Just do it. Flesh out whatever the soul dimension is, like whether it's a parallel universe or an alternate future dimension or both. Give her some specially designed soul avatar enemies as well, like characters that would wield earth, wind, and air instead of to contrast and compare it to the fire energy that she wields. You could, that would be nice to see. And as far as, I guess, her fighting style, we would need some enemies for her to shoot her fire attacks at, wouldn't we? Yeah, we would definitely need that. And while we're at it, let's make Blaze the Cat bend physics with her speed a little. Like, let's give her the ability to utilize probably those special stage generators, for example. Like, she's much faster now, so she should be able to create the necessary speed to be able to bend space-time by now. Like, her whole thing is that she's almost as fast as Sonic, and Sonic in Sonic CD canonically has the speed necessary to break time. So, how come Blaze doesn't get? We should probably fix that. Throw her in null space or something, make her run out. Um, Her player 2 would be Marine. And if it's going to be her own self-titled game, I feel like that's necessary instead of making Silver her player 2 because we need to basically let the hedgehogs have their own space and time for doing their own things. They're already the most popular. Let's make these other characters more popular too. Not saying he shouldn't have some cameos. Of course, give Silver a cameo or two if you feel like it, but let's not give him the role of player 2 when we could expand on Marine as a character. And above all, you could please expand on the legend of the Soul Emeralds and expand on what it's like for her to live her life as a guardian. Now, speaking of guardians, Knuckles the Echidna. And oh, let me just take a hit for this before I even say anything. hmm Give this man his own game. Period. Like, I don't even want to hear it. The fan base for this character is just as strong as it is for most of these other characters that y'all ask for games for. And I'm pretty sure there were people asking for a Knuckles game way back before Silver was ever even thought of. um, Knuckles' game isn't one focused on breaking the light barrier as much as it is hunting for treasure. You know, Knuckles is the kind of Knuckles is the kind of character that needs to be expanded upon greatly because he was just kind of spoon fed that whole greatest treasure hunter title in Sonic Adventure 2. He's like supposedly always at home aside from the spin-off racing games and whatnot, so when does he even have time to treasure hunt? I mean, sure, you could imply that he makes time, but it's nice to show that, so we should show that. This game is about him hunting for treasure, and like, damn it, if you want it to be good, please make him hunt even more than just the Master Emerald and a set of keys. Like, let's make Knuckles less angry idiot jock and more intelligent naive treasure hunter, please. Throw some history about the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emerald in this game, please. Add T-Call into the game too so we can see an old beloved face again, while we flesh out more of the backstory. And just like in Sonic Adventure 1, we can experience more of the ancient legend through T-Call as we navigate whatever past memory they put in the story to make it progress. Shoot. Obviously, add more punching. Whether it's 2D or 3D terrain is completely up to you. I don't really care. Just take a book from the Wario World thing, please, and let my guy treasure hunt. Flesh out Chaos lore while you do it, and make him punch people between running and, of course, gliding to the next destination, whichever. Tails, you already got your own damn game. And shit, you can get a remaster or a sequel, but like, people without games first, they're first priority here. People without games are first priority, bro. Like, Sega's always going to include you in Sonic's endeavors, and I'm kind of trying to look out for the little guy here. And speaking of looking out for the little guy, shit, we got Amy Rose. It's about time we figured out just how witchy Sonic's current girlfriend actually is. Like, tarot cards, ESP, attacks that strike you in the future instead of now. Like, she's pretty witchy. And here's what could actually persist in an Amy game. Here's what an Amy game could actually persist of. That's how you say that. So, Amy could either spend the time chasing Sonic, saving flickies. Like, the possibilities are kind of endless when you got a game star and a character who has ESP. Like, you could make Amy a private eye or some shit like that in her spare time and solve mysteries. Or better yet, you could have her rescue her customers from bad juju. Make her a fortune teller in game. Like say if they were to get the death card or something and it was meant to be taken literally as far as the tarot readings go, we would have to have Amy show up and fight evil spirits. But if Knuckles can punch a ghost when it's exposed to the light, then why can't Amy? Of course, her game would be like at least half running segments because she is Sonic's love interest, and her speed will always be relevant. Her striking strength is not really to be taken lightly either, and I would hope that they would include that in the game as well, with a whole lot of the hammer. Now, shoot, 2 games left in this Sonic cinematic universe, and by cinematic I mean video game universe, where everyone gets their own game, and then I guess in game. So, Rouge the Bat. And I know what you're thinking. Like, get Boobs the Bat out of here, right? But, then I thought, well, we need to see what Gunn is actually up to out here. Like, we need to see these missions that their James Bond character goes on. We need to view what Rouge sees when she's looking through that scouter, or whatever it's called. A Rouge the Bat game actually could push customer reviews and public opinion about T-rated Sonic games if we were to do this right as well. And the reason I say rated T is because she's a spy. There will be pistols, on the enemy team especially. Shadow could make some cameos, and if you want, you can even make him a main plot point of the story if you think that'll sell the game. But I prefer Omega as her player too, because, giving him his own game is a bad idea. And aside from being a walking armory, he could basically be a walking storage device for her stolen intel and shit like that she gets along the way. You could even have the player walk up to Omega to save her game between the events and shit, to save the game. So in the cutscene at the end of Rouge's game, she'll get a call from Shadow. She'll get a call from Shadow on her video comm, and it's him, Sonic, and the main cast, and a bunch of the Death Egg robots basically in a fight. And Shadow's telling her that all of Eggman's robots are going crazy and that they need all hands on deck. Rouge pauses. She sees Knuckles fighting in the background, and she tells him, okay, I'll be right there. I just got one more stop. Now, Shadow already knows what that stop is, and he attempts to yell at her, but he gets hung up on. And anybody who knows Rouge knows where she's going when she says something like that. She says, oh yeah, you'll be fine, Shadow. I saw you had your rings on anyway. Or something to the effect of that, right? And she'll say something like, I, on the other hand, just saved the world, and I think I deserve a big green thank you, or whatever she would say, right? And then we cue those end credits with the still art of Rouge taking her sweet ass time to fly to Angel Island. Either that, or she could already be above Angel Island, thinking that it was just sweeter when she saw Knuckles currently distracted, like, oh, I don't have to fight him now. After her credits, we show her walking up to the Master Emerald as the narrator speaks. And the narrator says something to the effect of, and Rouge the Bat would successfully reach Angel Island to bask in the Miracle Gem's glow. However, as fate would have it, she would not leave the Guardian Shrine with the object of her affection. Then have her turn her head to the right or the left, I don't care, and then make her gasp. End of the game. It's a spy game, mystery is good, and a cliffhanger ending pays off. So, y'all ready for the final game? Because we do need a Thanos, right? Scourge the Hedgehog. Now, believe me when I say that I 100% believe that if Sega would just let the Archie Comics writers add the Archie stories, and especially the freaking Freedom Fighters to the games, they would be selling a lot more. The idea that there are too many Sonic characters in the extended universe, I believe, is a bullshit idea. I feel like we should make Sonic big. There's literally no downside to having more characters. Like, you create characters we like and then don't use them anyway. So what's the difference? Like Blaze, Cream, Emerald. What's the difference? So, Scourge the Hedgehog is possibly the most famous character to spawn from the Archie comics outside of Sally Acorn. And she don't even count because she was on the show before the comic started. Now, we don't really need the freedom fighters to make this work. Let's introduce Scourge into the story in our own way. So, much like Shadow the Hedgehog's own game, but with more running to mirror the evil Sonic aspect, we want to make him run a lot more so than what Shadow was doing. And we want to see Scourge wreak havoc on we want to see him wreak havoc on those who are foolish enough to stop him, basically. As you know, Orbot basically confirmed the existence of Anarchy Barrel in the Sonic Forces comic. Now, take it as a joke or whatever as you will, however you want to put it. The point is, he said it was taken up. He was sure that it was taken. Fourth wall awareness, joking, whatever, however you want to put it, they can play off that anytime they want to. It's evil Sonic. Like, Kim Penders didn't create the concept of making an evil doppelganger. They can create an evil Sonic. Even if they don't name him Scourge, they could name him something else. So, continuing on, like, you could name the game Sonic Evil. Sonic: Evil. And it would be a nod to his original moniker, Evil Sonic. And basically, we would spend the game disarming Kento Bar's forces for good, basically, in a gritty, unsettling storyline that just rubs you the wrong way. And now, we don't want to mess up too much of this, right? But this will require inserting a backstory where it once was not. Maybe Christian Whitehead can create Sonic Evil Part 1 so we can see Classic Sonic and Evil Classic Sonic fight in the past. Probably around Sonic CD time. Just take heavy influence from the Cosmic Interstate and work from there. And make it so that you can play through Scourge's past memories in the classic verse, and then make this game about his crossing over into the main timeline. You can introduce Hitler Tales too, or Miles. That's what they call them. That'll make it a practical plan, and make the end goal of the game to cross from anti-Mobius to Mobius, and then distract the Mobians enough to try stealing the Master Emerald. And this will be utilized by making Miles pilot an army of murder bots to basically beat the game. Basically hacking all of Eggman's stuff and using it for himself. He'd probably have Eggman like captured and tied up or something, because you know how Miles is, you know how Evil Tails is. Shit. He gets shit done. Y'all mind if I take a sip of this drink real quick? Shoot. I'm gonna end it, I promise. Okay. So, he's hacking all of Eggman stuff and using it for himself, basically, so that he can help Scourge take over the main universe. Now, here's where we go full circle, because the conclusion after the credit scene in Rouge the Bat, that picks up here. That's going to be this game's final battle. You see, because instead of fighting Locke, let's have Scourge fight Rouge for the Master Emerald. And obviously Sonic can beat Rouge, so in the end, when he turns green, let's name him Scourge. So during the last cutscene, Sonic and the gang break apart all the machines. Instead of finding Eggman in there, they find Miles. They begin to question what this means when Tails is right there with them. Miles laughs at their cluelessness, and that's when Eggman's towers display Scourge on the screen. He calls Sonic some nickname from their past that gives away his identity, and then Sonic is in shock. And then we'll give Knuckles the opportunity to find Rouge, basically where she's not supposed to be, on the floor, with the Master Emerald actually gone. And she'll basically do the whole sorry I couldn't stop him bit. And with Sonic the Hedgehog in shock and Scourge having taken over the Eggman Empire, he announces his absolute rule over the planet and declares himself king. And then we wait until the next Sonic the Hedgehog game to see how all these events unfold. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for getting me 1/3 of the way to 1,000 views. I'm sorry, to 1,000 subs.